Whenever you start a new Minecraft world, the first thing you do is chop down a tree. Then, you go ahead and collect iron. Those are the basic fundamentals of Minecraft. But after that, what do? Some people like to explore. Some people like to make a starter base. A lot of people like to take the game slowly. But that's just not me. Alrighty, what's up guys? So it's the start of a brand new season here on the BareBones SMP, and this is going to be my first episode. So I already went ahead and I did a lot of the basic stuff. You know, I got my farms going, I've got my nether portal, some animals, and actually down here I made a little bit of a bamboo farm, a chicken farm, a full enchanting table, and then over here I think I'm gonna have villagers, but I'm not quite sure yet. But yeah, I just wanted to get all of the basic stuff out of the way because you guys have already seen it a million times before. But that being said, I have a huge build planned for today's episode. Rather than taking the traditional approach and starting out with a nice little starter base, I'm planning on hopping right into my main build. The only difficulty with that is that currently I'm still in iron armor, I don't have an elytra, and this build is going to be pretty big. So the reason I actually chose this huge plains biome here is because I want to make like a full custom city, and I just wanted to have a nice empty space to do that in. Now, for today, obviously I'm not going to get into building the city itself because that would be way too time consuming, but I can start by making an entrance. I've already been planning out this entrance in a creative world, and I can kind of already envision it sort of over in this direction, but that's not set in stone yet. But first things first, I need to go ahead and get some villagers and get my gear ready before I can start building. And actually, another member on the server near me just messaged me that he had some villagers that I could borrow. So I'm gonna go pick them up. Alright, I got two villagers here in these hideous netherrack blobs. Thank you to Bomb for helping me get these. I'm gonna go give him some diamonds real quick because he was an absolute lifesaver with these villagers. Alright, I just gave Bomb the diamonds, but before I start rolling my villagers, I'd just like to point out how helpful the mounts are in this game. Like, I always just get an elytra early on, but using the horse and the happy ghast for all of that stuff just made my life 10 times easier. And I think I'm going to keep these guys around, but I have no idea what to name them. So if you want to leave some suggestions in the comments, maybe I'll name them after one of you guys. But yeah, without further ado, it's time to turn these netherrack blobs into a villager hall. Alrighty, it's been a few hours, but as you can see, I have been really busy. At this point, I've been on the server for about 12 hours and 2 days, and I'm going to be on for quite a few more hours tonight, so I have been hard at work. But I got pretty much all the enchants I'm going to need. I have mending, depth strider, looting, just everything I need for my armor and tools, so that'll make my life so much easier. I'm really happy that I decided to do my own villagers this season, because last season I ended up doing no villagers, and I never got netherite, so I was just stuck with diamond armor for months on end. But now I'm being a lot more self-sufficient this season. Alrighty, now that I'm all geared up, I feel pretty confident that I can head into the nether and start getting some netherite. I want to get that out of the way super early on just so I don't have to worry about it later. And then after that, I'm just going to get right into gathering materials. And actually, I'm going to use my happy ghast here to scout out a location for the build. But yeah, I'm going to pop into the nether real quick, and hopefully next time you see me, I'm fully kitted out. I just got done mining up all 36 pieces of ancient debris that I'm gonna need for this, and I think I'm just gonna borrow the smithing template from someone else, but I actually don't have any diamonds yet, And this has actually taken me such a long time. I mean, probably like 4 or 5 hours just to get these 36 pieces. I kept getting distracted though. I built like a sheep farm and yeah, I don't know. I was doing other things too, but it just took a long time. So I'm gonna go get the diamonds for the netherite, and then I'm just gonna hop straight into a material gathering. Alrighty, it's been a couple days, and I just finished gathering up all the materials I'm gonna need for this project. As you can see here, I have about 3 double chests full of stuff, and this actually took a super long time because a lot of this stuff is stone, and I don't have a beacon yet, so it was a little bit tedious to get. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into building. Alrighty, just like that, the build is finally done. Here it is in all its glory. I think it's looking pretty amazing. And one thing that's kind of funny is if I go to my stats here, it took almost exactly 1 full day to do it. See, 0.99 days. Alrighty, I'm up on my happy guest here, and I still don't know what to name him, but I'm gonna use him to kind of fly around the build and show you guys some of the things I'm kind of happy with. And yeah, first things first, hopefully you could tell by now, but outside of the gate, I have these two like statues. They're supposed to be kind of like Spartan warriors, but it's sort of like ambiguous. It can be kind of whatever you want it to be. They have these two spears here that are crossing right on the center of the gate, and I think that just kind of helps to frame it really nicely. And one thing I really like actually is that I'll show you probably in the cinematic, but the sun sets directly behind the gate here, and it frames it really nicely. Some of the things I'm really happy with on the statues are the helmets here. I got a good amount of detail in them. It was kind of hard because it was in like a 3 by 3 area, but I think you can tell what they are. Then I have a good amount of like shading, as you can see the diorite highlights, and then down to like the mud shadows. And then on the waist area, I use these like glass panes to create some sort of depth, and it's kind of like hard to explain what it is because I don't know the technical terms, but it just looks like more textured armor. And then on the gate itself, there's all sorts of like symbols and waves. There's a pair of wings there, then the arch itself. And this arch is actually inspired by the Washington Arch in New York City. And it's not meant to be one to one, as I did want to give it like a creative spin, but it did look pretty similar, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And then as you can see along the sides here, I have a sort of gradient that makes it look pretty weathered. So in the darker spots, I have the light gray wool, and then for the highlights, again, I have diorite. And then actually underneath where it would have the most shadow, I used andesite. But overall, it's mostly supposed to look like typical weathering rather than shadows particularly. But yeah, this is pretty much going to wrap up my episode 1. This is everything I wanted to get done. I got all my armor, got some villagers, built this awesome gate, and I'm super excited to move on to episode 2 already because I have a build already planned out way ahead of time. And you'll see it next episode, but I'm going to have a pathway leading up to a big build on that hill. So it's kind of like a two-parter. But yeah, if you're looking forward to seeing what I have to do the rest of the season, please consider subscribing. But yeah, I'll see you guys around.